Breaking, Steph Curry calls out his teammates after an embarrassing loss. The locker room explodes, tensions are rising, and the NBA world is watching every single detail unfold around the Golden State Warriors. In one of the most shocking post-game moments we've seen in years, the usually calm, composed, and positive Stephen Curry couldn't stay quiet this time. After the Warriors walked off the court with their heads down, defeated and humiliated, Curry made it absolutely clear that enough is enough. The cameras captured the frustration on his face, but what happened behind closed locker room doors is what has every fan, analyst, and rival team talking today. This wasn't just another regular season loss. This was a meltdown, a collapse that exposed everything wrong with the Warriors right now. The defense fell apart, the turnovers were out of control, the effort dropped, and the energy was nowhere to be found. Curry, who gave everything he had on the court, couldn't believe how flat his team looked. He's been carrying the load, battling night after night, but this time, he decided the message needed to be loud and direct. Steph Curry isn't pointing fingers in interviews or posting cryptic messages online. He's speaking up in the moments where it matters the most, in front of his teammates. And according to multiple people inside that room, Curry gave one of the strongest speeches of his career, a speech that left everyone staring at the floor in silence. Imagine this scene: the locker room door slams shut, everyone knows what's coming, but still, they're not ready for the fire Steph brings with him. He looks around and says that the standard of the Golden State Warriors is not whatever they just showed on that floor. He said he refuses to let his legacy be wasted by selfishness, lack of hustle, and no accountability. Players who barely contributed sat there shocked, while the veterans knew that when Steph talks like this, it means real change is coming. He demanded more from everyone: the young players trying to prove themselves, the veterans who should be setting a better example, and even the coaching staff who needs to adjust fast. Curry insisted that the Warriors can still be a championship threat, but not if everyone keeps hoping he'll carry the entire franchise every single night. This moment wasn't only about frustration. It was a wake-up call. The team has talent, they have shooters, they have athletes, but their chemistry is broken. Shots aren't falling, defensive rotations are slow, and the communication looks like 5 separate players instead of one connected unit. And when Curry addressed the team, he said something that hit deep: if you're not willing to do your job, step aside for someone who will. That line, according to insiders, is what shook the room to its core. Curry isn't known for embarrassing his teammates, but tonight he made it crystal clear effort is non-negotiable. He refuses to watch the season slip away while players act like the results don't matter. Veteran leaders know the pressure is on. Draymond Green, someone who has been the emotional engine of the franchise, sat quietly while Curry delivered the message. Even Klay Thompson, who has gone through ups and downs trying to find his rhythm again, didn't argue because he knows Steph is right. The younger players, like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, sat there feeling the weight of what it means to be part of a dynasty, and the responsibility that comes with wearing a Warriors jersey. The tension grew stronger with every word. Some players looked upset, others inspired, but every single one felt challenged. The moment Steph walked out, the room stayed silent. Guys looked at each other, unsure of what comes next. Would there be lineup changes? Would Coach Steve Kerr finally shake up the rotations? Would someone be benched permanently? One thing is certain: this loss lit a fire inside the Warriors organization. The coaching staff now has to decide how to respond. Do they take Curry's message and enforce real consequences? Or do they continue down the same path hoping something magically changes? Kerr knows that this season has reached a critical turning point. They can either continue to spiral, or they can fight like champions again. Fans are furious. Analysts are calling out players who simply aren't stepping up. And rival teams are circling like sharks, smelling blood in the water. But the world also knows something else. Whenever Steph Curry gets angry, something big usually happens next. Remember all the times people counted him out? He responded with championships, MVPs, and unforgettable playoff runs. Curry is determined to turn this chaos into motivation. He doesn't care who gets offended if the message leads to winning basketball, then it was worth saying. One of the most shocking details from the night came when a source revealed that Curry even called out the Warriors' lack of discipline during practices. He said the bad habits everyone tries to ignore during the week show up on game day when the lights are bright. He challenged players to compete harder even outside the arena. The preparation, the focus, the commitment needs to be stronger. He made it clear that the Warriors' legacy wasn't built on talent alone, but on sacrifice, hard work, and pride. And if anyone isn't willing to match that standard, they don't deserve to call themselves a Warrior. This new fire from Steph could be exactly what the team needs. Some players responded immediately, going straight to work after the speech, shooting extra shots, hitting the weight room, and reviewing game film. Others walked out quietly, visibly frustrated, either with themselves or the fact that Curry exposed the truth they didn't want to face. This is where the team's future will be decided. Do they rise together or break apart? Curry's words also sent a message to the front office. Will the Warriors look to make trades? Will they bring in veterans who understand championship basketball? This team is not rebuilding, not while Steph Curry is still performing like a superstar. Management is running out of time to surround him with the right pieces before this championship window closes for good. The Warriors fanbase expects moves, not excuses. They expect the urgency that Curry showed inside that locker room. And the general manager now has a responsibility to back their superstar with action. The drama doesn't end there. Media reporters are already asking what exactly was said and whether this speech will create divisions or spark unity. But sometimes great teams need conflict. Sometimes real progress starts when the truth finally gets loud enough that nobody can ignore it anymore. Warriors fans should actually feel hopeful because this version of Curry, the passionate leader demanding excellence, is the same version that built the dynasty in the first place. As the next game approaches, all eyes are on how the team responds. Will they come out swinging, showing fight and intensity from the opening tip? Will the bench provide real support instead of disappearing? Will the defense force turnovers instead of giving up easy baskets? Every possession will be judged because the standard has now been reset by the greatest shooter in NBA history. The players know that their effort will define whether they keep their spots in the rotation or become trade pieces. And here's the biggest thing: Steph Curry still believes in this team. If he didn't, he wouldn't have said a word. His passion means he sees a future worth fighting for. He knows what greatness looks like, and he knows this team can reach that level again, but only if everyone is willing to go all in. No shortcuts, no laziness, no ego, no excuses. The dynasty isn't dead unless they let it die. The fans deserve the truth. Nights like this are painful, but they also create legends. The Warriors have been spoiled by success for years, but every championship team goes through battles like this, moments where they must redefine who they are. Right now, Golden State stands at a crossroads. This season can either turn into disaster or a comeback story that fans will never forget. Steph Curry has chosen to fight, and now it's up to the rest of the roster to decide if they will fight alongside him. Rival players are joking, critics are laughing, but they all know the danger of pushing Curry too far. Because the moment he gets locked in with revenge on his mind, history shows what comes next: long-range explosions, unstoppable clutch performances, and a Warriors team suddenly playing like the hunters instead of the hunted. The NBA has seen it too many times to ignore. As we wrap up this breaking story, remember this: the Warriors dynasty was never built on comfort. It was built on hunger, pressure, and the demand for excellence. Steph Curry lit that fire again tonight. He sent a message that will echo through that locker room for weeks, maybe months. And whenever this team rises again, and they will, this moment will be the turning point that started the comeback. The Warriors now have a chance to respond with pride, with passion, and with the heart that fans fell in love with years ago. Stay tuned, because this story is just beginning. The next game isn't just another game, it's a test of character. Will the Warriors show they still have championship DNA? Will Steph Curry's powerful words transform this team into fighters again? The pressure is on, the lights are bright, and the entire NBA is watching. Something big is coming, and we will be right here bringing you every shocking update, every emotional reaction, and every stunning twist as the season